This week on Marketplace. Do you know how much gas you're really guzzling?
You never really get what they tell you.
Are you spending hundreds more than what you were promised?
I believe the salesperson.
What the auto industry isn't telling you about those numbers on the window.
We never got to 5 point.
Your engine has to warm.
See how far we go to test whether your promised gas mileage really is fuel-proof.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
We're at this gas station in Toronto's East End.
I'm Tom Harrington from Marketplace at CBC.
Oh my goodness, I thought that face looked familiar.
To see how important gas mileage is to you.
How you doing?
Fill up.
No, I'm not the guy. I'm actually I'm with CBC.
Oh, hi.
How important is fuel efficiency?
Very important, very important. I do a lot of driving. I have a handicapped son that's involved in Special Olympics, so we're driving sports all over the place.
When you bought the vehicle, how important was fuel efficiency to you?
It was quite important.
Well, you always want better gas mileage. Hey guys!
And car makers know it.
How's it going, Stan?
Gas stations,
Just that.
where nobody knows your name.
So ads such as this promise the gas station will become unfamiliar territory.
The Chevrolet Cruze Eco, with a remarkable highway fuel efficiency rating.
But are car makers just pumping up those claims? We're putting them to the test, using the #1 selling pickup in Canada, the 2014 Ford F-150. Now you might be thinking, it's a big truck. Can the mileage be that good? But Ford says their EcoBoost engine makes a difference.
Test drive a Ford vehicle with an EcoBoost engine and feel the performance of a larger engine with the fuel efficiency of a smaller one.
Before heading out, a mechanic gives our truck the once-over.
Yep, good. Yep, everything looks good.
The onboard computer will tell us our average fuel consumption. The lower the number of liters used to cover 100 kilometers, the better the fuel efficiency. How far will I get on only 1 tank of gas? We're about to find out.
We're fueled up. Let's fire it up and hit the road.
These are the fuel efficiency numbers for the F-150 that Ford advertises. The highway where the rate is better, and the city where you use more gas. So based on our route, we should be able to travel more than 1,400 kilometers on 1 fill-up. Plenty enough to get me back to CBC without running out of gas. Will I make it? We're heading west on the first leg of our trip. From Toronto to the Sarnia area, about 300 clicks. Computer is telling us we're getting about 12 liters per 100 kilometers. That's after about 205 kilometers we've been on the road, and it's almost entirely highway driving. So we'll see if this average keeps up, gets better or worse. After another 100K or so, I arrive in Wyoming, Ontario. Mary Ferlin drives a Volkswagen Jetta TDI clean diesel. Mary's a nurse, and when she bought the car 3 years ago, her home visits meant driving 1,000 kilometers a week.
Hey, Mary.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Tom Harrington from Marketplace.
When you are putting that kind of kilometers on a car, you want something that's good on gas. And so the #1 reason that I bought that car was because I was promised that it had good gas mileage.
And Mary got that pitch from her local Volkswagen dealer.
He said, look at the math, and you'll find out that you're going to save money in gas.
When did you first realize that what they promised and what you were getting were different?
It was not even probably 2 months down the road.
Volkswagen Canada claims this model delivers a combined mileage rate of 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Mary was only getting 6.9 and complains to the dealer.
I said to them that the car that you sold me is not getting the gas mileage that you promised, and I'd like you to do something.
And what did they say? Did they make up excuses?
They just said that I basically needed to drive like an old woman, and I needed to follow the speed limit and that sort of thing, the old tricks for fuel conservation.
So it's back to our road trip test and the start of day 2. So far, we're burning up gas faster than we should.
The numbers are really close right now. I don't know what we're going to get, but we have a 5-hour drive to Parry Sound. We'll see how that ends up.
It is a long drive to Parry Sound. Thank goodness for satellite radio.
Come on, baby, dry your eyes. I'm only human.
As we pass through the top of the big city, we get off the highway to get in some city driving.
I'm actually putting myself in Toronto traffic. I'm really crazy.
Now stress-free, we're heading into Northern Ontario. Soon, I'm pulling into cottage country on Lake Wawashkesh. Now this is an escape from life on the road. We're here to talk to Pete Drinkwater. He actually owns an F-150 EcoBoost, same as our test truck. Back in 2011, it was Ford's TV commercials that sold him.
It was Dennis Leary.
Right.
And I always remember his voice and how he said 32 miles a gallon, unbelievable, EcoBoost.
You won't be put in a chokehold every time you fill up, because you can also get the best fuel economy.
You won't believe the mileage. You're right, I don't believe it.
Pete is able to get only about 16 miles per gallon, about half what Ford advertises.
Within 2 weeks, I took it in and said, I think something's wrong with it because I'm not getting the gas mileage. And they told me at the beginning, oh, it just has to be broken in, which I did. And I left it. It broke in, no difference.
Did you go back to the dealer and talk to them again about it?
Yes. They said that I was probably driving too fast. They said that that 32 miles to the gallon was taken on perfect road conditions. I said, what's perfect? Downhill with the wind behind you?
So how to explain the difference? We catch up with automotive journalist Michael Betancourt.
Should people expect to get the mileage that they're promised from their vehicle?
Not the ones that are currently on the window sticker, unfortunately. And the reality is the official numbers in Canada for the last 7 years are inflated. They really are inflated.
Inflated? How? By whom? Turns out all automakers do their mileage testing in a lab, as you see in this recent video from Ford.
You never go out on the road, you're never using your climate control systems. A lot of people don't realize it only measures fuel efficiency up to 97 kilometers an hour. Now, you go onto 400 highways and nobody's going 97 kilometers an hour. So all of those things will mean that when you do go on the road and you do those things, those numbers that you see won't be anywhere near the numbers that these tests.
Did Ford ever tell that to Pete?
Not on a highway, not in a city. It's in a lab.
See, they don't tell me that.
Should they?
They should. They should tell exactly how they test it because I'm buying it. I'm the consumer.
Doesn't exactly build confidence as we're into the final leg of our Marketplace road trip. It's getting dark as we leave Parry Sound.
I'm heading back to Toronto, and right now, I'm less than 100 kilometers away from being empty. I'm getting the warning signal now. Fuel is low.
When we come back, a stormy night raises the stakes.
This is insane.
And a stormy exchange.
Is that on?
Yeah.
Turn it off, please.
I'm sorry?
Turn it off, please.
Fuel up on tips for getting better mileage. And share yours on Facebook and Twitter. It's the Marketplace Road Trip Challenge. Trying to find out if this F-150 pickup with an EcoBoost engine can deliver the fuel efficiency Ford promises. But now, as evening closes in, I see a warning the fuel level is low, and I'm still about 200 clicks away from the CBC in downtown Toronto. Then the weather turns nasty.
It's bad enough to be on empty, but it's a dark and stormy night. It's tough to drive. Can't see anything. This is insane. There you go.
Finally, still half an hour from CBC.
That's it. I'm out of gas. So is this.
Our final average fuel efficiency is 12 liters per 100 kilometers. Not as good as Ford advertises.
Bottom line is the amount of mileage that Ford said we'd get on a single tank of gas in this F-150, we did not get.
While it rains, I pour.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
We asked to talk to Ford, but they apparently don't have a spokesperson available. So I head to the group that represents the big three, Ford, GM, and Chrysler, the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association. To meet President Mark Nanté.
The only way you're going to achieve that number, and they are achievable, if you follow all good driving behaviors and the fuel efficiency driving tips that are offered by both the government as well as vehicle manufacturers in their owner manuals.
Which most people don't do, right? But yet they're marketed this information to make them feel like they're going to get this kind of mileage.
Well, it's so you can make an informed decision on your new vehicle purchase. That's the purpose of those values.
We talked to car buyers who felt that when they were buying a car, when they were being pitched on the sales floor, they were being told they were going to get numbers. They were being promised performance.
Well, you know, car dealers are independent business people. The question becomes, are they adequately trained to give people the right information when it comes to those values and what those values mean?
So we take our hidden cameras into some showrooms. This Mazda 3 promises 4.8 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway. The fine print says the actual fuel consumption may vary. So, would we be able to actually get that?
Yeah, you'll be getting a 4.8. Maybe even better.
Oh, so you can get better than opposed to...
Yeah, because I tell you why. Because sometimes there's a wind speed as well.
Wind speed? Next, we visit this Chrysler dealership. The window sticker on this 2013 Dodge Dart says 5.4 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway. So, we go for a test drive.
Right now this is 9.6.
We don't seem to be getting what the window sticker suggests.
You remember you have your air conditioner running too, so
That affects the fuel con.
a little bit.
When we come off the highway,
We never got to 5 point.
It will go down where your engine has to warm up.
Next we check out this Ford dealership. We ask about the fuel rating on the window of this F-150 EcoBoost, like our test vehicle.
You're not going to see any vehicle doing what they say. The way they test those vehicles, they only test in an environment.
This time, a more straight-up answer. Then we hear this.
They're actually changing the testing methods on everything because to come up to more realistic. Yeah, this is not really, this is very outdated.
Wait, what? Changing the testing methods? Starting now, Ottawa is making all automakers put their 2015 models through additional testing, accounting for air conditioning, colder weather, driving at higher speeds, and more rapid accelerating and braking. This government video makes it sound like good news all round.
Fuel consumption ratings will immediately jump up by 10 to 20% for most vehicles.
What it really means is the fuel numbers on the car you bought are 10 to 20% worse than what you were told. Back in Wyoming, Ontario, we tell Mary Furlan about what these new fuel numbers mean for her.
For your car, these are your old numbers, 6.7 city, 4.7 highway. Now they're going to be this, 7.9 and 5.7.
I'm not surprised because that's the numbers I'm getting right now on my own vehicle when we do our math, but that's not why I bought the car.
Up on Lake Wabashkesh, Pete Drinkwater isn't exactly thrilled his Ford pickup has been picking his pocket.
They must have known they were lying about it. Like, I don't know how they can faulty advertise, and then when I question them about it, they say everything's fine. That's what I don't understand. And then now they're changing it. Well, it's too late. I've already bought it. I've already spent the money.
In fact, Canadian dealers and automakers should have known. U.S. parent companies have been advertising higher, more realistic fuel numbers for the same kind of cars and trucks sold here since 2008, after the U.S. government changed their tests. So what about the millions of us who bought cars and trucks based on the promise of gas savings that aren't real?
As a society, if we take a stance on that, I believe we can all get together and say, you know what, this is wrong. You know, I think we should be compensated.
Should people be compensated if they've been driving a car under false impressions?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Sure they should.
Should people get compensated for that in some way?
Of course they should. Oh, well, most definitely.
People have been telling us they feel misled by these numbers, that these two different systems tell them that, I bought my car under essentially false pretenses on the fuel efficiency. Do they have a point?
Well, again, I go back to the fact that these are for comparative purposes. The numbers that were issued in the
But also marketed that way.
Well, they're marketed
advertising,
that way.
Television commercials all push a certain number.
But again, those numbers are all relative, and they're all relative to comparable vehicles in the same class.
But this is a case where it appears that Canadian car buyers were being treated differently than American car buyers on fuel efficiency, and they believe that's just not right, not fair.
Yes, there's differences, but we're moving away from that, and the numbers are going to be improved. And unless there are some errors made or our companies purposely misled them, then that would be a different question.
Mary Furlan does feel misled. She's ended up pumping out a lot more gas money than she expected. We do the calculations and reveal how much money that is.
You paid that much more in gas a year because of this difference. $650.
That's a lot of money. That I don't know what to even to say about that.
Do you feel like you're owed compensation in some way for the gas money you've spent?
I feel like I'm owed something.
Her dealer won't talk to us, so we go there, along with Mary.
Hi there. We want to talk to somebody here about the problem she's having with the mileage on her car. Hi there.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. I'm Tom Harrington from Marketplace at CBC.
Is that on?
Yeah.
Turn it off.
I'm sorry?
Can you turn it off, please?
Out comes the man who sold the Jetta to Mary, sales manager Mike Van Acker.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Mike agrees to talk to me alone in his office.
She spent hundreds of dollars more than she expected to pay for gas, and no one's helping her at all. No one's giving her any compensation.
Mike leaves and comes back with the dealership owner, Joe Andali.
Hey, who's in charge here?
She was being told you're going to save a lot of money driving this vehicle.
So they agreed to talk to Mary.
Mary.
After a long discussion, they make Mary an offer. A free tank of gas and a promise to test her car's mileage again.
Thanks for talking.
Okay, see you later.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
He said he just read the numbers that Volkswagen has.
Yeah, and that he didn't even consider that they would be not quite right. He didn't feel that, well, why would this car not get that?
They borrow Mary's Jetta, and 2 weeks later, their test result? It all depends on how you drive. But Mary still says they should tell you that when you buy the car. And as for that free tank of gas, well, when she gets her car back from the dealer, the needle is on empty.